Welcome back to the shop, guys. This is day one on my build that I'm going to be putting together. This is a 2021 YZ125. I already had an introduction video to this, so if you haven't seen that yet, there'll be a link in the description so you can go back to that. Today I'm going to start with doing the top end, but let me show you what parts we have for what we're going to be doing to her. Got a set of brand new MX33 tires, so that's going to be nice. I got a quick twist throttle from G2. Have a set of OEM grips here, some twin wall bars, 999 bend, a Pro Circuit shorty silencer, a set of springs that we'll be putting in and changing the fluid and suspension. Even though she only has 9 hours on her, if I'm going in there, I might as well put all new fresh fluid in it. Got a set of graphics from Decal Works. Pretty much it's going to be like my other YZ250, except it's going to have black number plates. It's pretty much going to be a twin of that. Got a Wiseco piston in here. I like to get the stock cast pistons out of there and get a Wiseco forged piston in there before I even ride the bike. Got all the gaskets I need to do that. I have some assortment of jets over here, so when I go to tune her in, have some fork guards, and lastly I have a new cylinder head. And the reason I have a new cylinder head is because I will be rechambering this head myself, getting the squish band clearance correct and everything like that. But I like to work on a new head when I do that. In case I mess it up, I can put my original head back on, or if I didn't like the work that I did when I get to the track and I want to finish my day riding, I can just throw my original head back on and continue on. So that's what we have, and today I'm going to start with the top end and we'll go from there. I think I'm going to get the top end done, the throttle done, and the handlebars done today. And then tomorrow I'll continue on. Oh, and shorty silencer. And then tomorrow I'll probably continue on into the suspension. I think I'm going to save the graphic kit for last. And yeah, so let's dig into her. Alright, this is not going to be so much a tutorial as I do this top end. I have a video. If you go back a couple of my videos ago, or go search through my videos, YZ125 top end rebuild. And that's more of a step-by-step tutorial going through this. I'm just going to blast through this and maybe show you some highlights as I go along, only because we got a lot of work to do and I don't want to bore you with all the details. If you need them details, like I said, I'll actually put a link in the description, and just go down in the description. You'll see a link to the tutorial on top end if that's what you're interested in, because I'm going to blast through this. So let me go get the seat and tank off and we'll get moving. Yeah, OEM air filter. It's a little dirty. Probably never been cleaned. The bike only has 9 hours on it, and based on what I see by the wear on the back tire here, it wasn't really ridden hard at all. I don't like these air filters. First off, I think they're kind of thick. They don't flow very good, and after like 1 or 2 washings they come apart. I have a uni to put on it. It's a used one for my YZ250 because I usually always have about 4 or 5 uni air filters around, so I'll be popping one of them on today. It's clean and ready to go. Just got to throw some oil on it. I'm going to have to do something about that hour meter, the way he has this thing strapped on here like that, but I'll take care of that. Alright, got the tank of seat off. Go ahead and take the pipe off, drain the coolant, and move these radiators out of the way. Usually if you watch my videos, I don't like to take the radiators completely off. I just like to take the bottom hose off here and take the bolts out, but leave the top hose on and kind of pull them out and slide them in front of the frame here so I can get the cylinder off. But it looks like this radiator is ever so slightly smashed in on this side. It's hard to see right there. See right here? Ever so slightly smashed in. I'm gonna fix that. So I'm gonna be removing this radiator at least completely so I can straighten that up while I'm doing this top end. Alright, I got this radiator off. Let me go ahead. The other one looks good, but you can see where it's flattened right up in there. And up here a little bit. Also, these tabs right here are slightly bent inward, so I'm going to try to straighten that out the best I can. This should be pretty easy because I got some blocks of wood to keep it on the housing of the radiator instead of the body. I've done a lot worse than this and gotten them pretty straight, and they're pretty, just aluminum, so it doesn't take much. And this is really getting OCD with it. They're really just fine the way they are. But I like things to be perfect as much as I can. Look on the other side a little bit. Let me get something different to hit that with. Yeah, it's coming out. You'll never get it absolutely perfect, but you can always get it a lot better. And even if they're tweaked like this, I've been able to tweak them straight. If they're twisted like this, I've been able to twist them straight. If they're tweaked like that, I can get them straight. You just got to work at it and be creative. Always have some wood blocks. It's not hard. All right, let me try on this side now. There we go. All right. And even though the bike only has 9 hours, it does have a set of different handlebars on it, and the left grip has been replaced, and this is the left radiator. So I'm imagining whoever owned it before, the guy that owned it, I mean, I know who owns it before, but the guy who owned it before me, he didn't really know how to ride. He was pretty much a beginner, and I'm thinking he just had a nice little tip over. No big deal though. I'll straighten her out. Oh yeah. We are getting there. On this side, I don't have to worry about the blocks so much because I'm just having it rest on these. Oh, you got to be careful because you can punch these. You can punch these in if you hit too hard, which means at that point you might want to use some blocks. I think I'm going to go back to the blocks. Let's see where we're at. Give it a little hit right in the middle here. You can tell when it's coming out because these little fins will start straightening up. Okay, that's looking good. I got a little more work to do up here. Right here, you can see they're still all twisted up. Yeah, and a little bit more back here. And then after that, I'll straighten up the mounting tabs, and that should do her. Sometimes you gotta get a little creative to get the exact spot you want to hit. Okay. Anyway, save some time in this. Let me pause the video. I'll keep working at it. Alright, I'm removing these so I can get access to the mounts with a pair or adjustable wrench, and so I get a good view. That side don't look too bad, but this side, you can, I don't know if you can see in the camera or not, she's slightly angled downward. So let me get a pair of pliers and we'll straighten that out. Like I was saying, this is more cosmetic than it is functional, but you know, I just brought the bike home, and after I put the graphic kits on it and everything like that, yes, she has 9 hours on it, but she's new to me, and I want to give her the best chance of feeling new to me on day one, and let any wear and tear from this point on be from me. Let it be my own, let the character of the bike be from me. Alright, I think that's as good as it's gonna get for the most part. Yeah. So okay, let me put the rubber pieces back in here, the grommets, and pop the radiator back on. Okay, excuse the rain, it's raining right now, but got the silencer off, have them mounts removed from the pipe here, so now I just got to pull the pipe springs. Alright, pipe looks pretty clean on the inside, no overbuild of carbon, so that's good. Boy, it's raining like crazy, so it might be hard to hear me, but here we go. Let's slide this cylinder up and off. Get a mallet and try to tap that up. she's on there. There we go. Woo. Alright, the cylinder's out of there. Like I said, she's a virgin. Only 9 hours on it, so I don't expect anything crazy. But yeah, the piston looks okay. Let's go ahead and take the piston off and see what we got. Alright, went ahead and got a rag put around here, just in case that circlip goes flying off out of there. I don't know where it went. Got her. Alright. Give her some love taps here. Oops. Well, good thing that's the old piston. Alright, let's take her on the bench and take a look at her. Really not a whole lot to see here, just a stock piston. But good news is, I'm getting her out of here before she cracked. No really wear at all, except for some scratches, mild scratches here or there. Yeah, 9 hours, you know, no real wear. Doesn't look like it's been ridden hard or anything, but so I guess this piston is out of here. And yeah, I got the wrist pin for her right here. Normally I like to replace the wrist pin bearing when I do a top end, but again, with only 9 hours, I wonder how this got all hazy and like it was getting moisture in there. That's weird. But yeah, with only 9 hours, I'm not going to worry about it on this run. I'm just going to reuse this wrist pin bearing. On the next piston, I will put a new one because, like I said, I typically like to do it on every top end. But let me take a peek here. Clean off a little bit of the dirt that fell on it. I mean, I expect the rod to be in good shape, the rod bearing and stuff, but you know, still. Now I am gonna measure the left and right just for reference reasons. Yeah, everything feels good. All right, the proper way to do this would be using a dial indicator that you can mount up, but I'm just gonna use a set of calipers here. What I do is I put it where the upper rod wrist pin bearing goes, right here in the upper part of the rod. Squeeze it all, cinch it all the way down on it, and then hit zero it out. And then I'm going to widen it back up a little bit and just wiggle the rod left or right like this and try to figure out. See, right now it's hitting both sides a little bit wider. I got it at 1 millimeter. Let's go a little tighter. If you watch the top end video, YZ125, pretty much a tutorial on this. My wife's bike had 1 millimeter left or right on hers, and this one seems to be close to that, just under a millimeter. Like I said, my wife, she doesn't ride that bike too hard, so let me keep working at this and I'll let you know what I end up with. This is what I'm actually coming up with, 0.87 of a millimeter left or right. So that's where I'm at on this bike with only 9 easy hours on it. And my wife's was at 1 millimeter, so yeah, that's good. All right, let's keep moving on. All right, let me go ahead and get the Wiseco piston on there. So everything's looking good with the crank, obviously. It's only 9 hours. Wiseco Pro Light piston. I might try the... Hold up. Okay, I don't know why I thought the YZ came with the window in the intake port, but it appears it doesn't. I don't know why I was thinking it did. Okay, anyway, let's see here. We got the north on these rings. Like I point out in my tutorial, there's always there's often a marking. This one has an N on it. That means that part goes upward. But there we go. There we go. But yeah, put a good Wiseco piston in there. That way I don't have to worry about this thing breaking on me like that seems to happen a lot of times with these stock cast pistons. I'm going to take her out this weekend, run her the first weekend with the stock cylinder head. Get the jetting sorted out with that first. I know I'm going to have to do more jetting work after I modify the head, obviously. But I like to start with the stock head, get a feel for how things feel stock. And then after I do the mod, you know, because I'm looking to improve it, so I like to have something to compare it to. And so I'll take it out with the stock head first, tune the jetting in with that, get it the best I can get it, bring it back home, and modify the head, and then take it back out. Which I have a video on that too. The what do they call it? I forgot what they call it. Free modification. I can't remember. I got a video on the head work somewhere on YouTube if you ever want to see how I do that at home. It's kind of just, you know, doing it at home with some basic tools, but the final product comes out really good. You can't tell between that and if you sent it out to a machine shop and that does cylinder head work and they did the work for you. I get the squish band clearance set where I want it, and I get this overall CCs, the combustion chamber set where I want it. A nice finish when I'm done. And the best part is, because I do it myself, if I don't like the results, or if I'm getting close to the results I want, and I want to make some minor changes to get a little bit closer to where I'm trying to get it, I can do that myself on my own instead of having to send it back out and pay someone again to do it all over again for me. So anyway, let me go ahead and get this on the bike, and I'm going to get it, like I said, this is not a tutorial, so I'm going to get a lot of this done, and I'll check back with you in a minute. Alright, so far I got the top end back on for the most part. The upper motor mount got the radiators back on, have it filled up with coolant. And over here I put the exhaust pipe back on, but not the silencer yet because I'm going to be putting that Pro Circuit Shorty silencer on. Alright, you know what? Before I put this on, I know one of the benefits of running a Shorty silencer, or any aftermarket silencer for that matter, is dropping weight. So let's go ahead and weigh these things. Let me cut that thing out of the bag and we're going to weigh them and see what we come up with. The old dirty shop scale says the stock silencer weighs 3 pounds and 4 ounces. And the old dirty shop scale says the Pro Circuit weighs 1 pound and 13 ounces. Huh. Let's see here. Mode. Let's do it like this. This is 1.8 pounds, 1.86 pounds, the Pro Circuit. And the stock pipe is 3.27 pounds. So doing the math here, that looks almost like it's a 1.4 pound drop in weight reduction right there. So yeah, you'll drop almost 1.5 pounds just by going to a Shorty silencer, and that's weight is up high. It's on the tail end of the bike, so that can definitely be felt, I'm sure. Alright, so let's put her on the bike. I put the rubber mount from the OEM silencer on this one, and the Shorty only uses one mount, not two. There we go. Now I have the pipe bolted on, but the bolts are loose on it, so the pipe can kind of move around until I get the silencer on, and then I'll go through and I'll tighten everything up. There we go. Got us a Shorty. Let's see how she looks up in here. Look at that. Alright, now let me go ahead and I'm going to tighten up these motor mount bolts now, and I mean the pipe bolts here. Give it a little wiggle. Make sure everything's in good position well. Yep, okay. while I'm over here, let me pull this off and put some Loctite on the Kickstarter. These like to come loose and then you lose your Kickstarter. So let me go and get some Loctite on there. Oh, that thing was so loose. The Kickstarter, I probably would have ended up losing the Kickstarter. It just loosened right up and just wiggled right out. So I'll put a dab of Loctite on her. As I always say, a dab will do. You don't want to put too much and get it stuck on there forever. Oh. But at least now I'm not going to lose my Kickstarter while I'm out riding. That's always a bummer. My wife lost hers one time at the track and we never found it. We went back looking for it on the track. It was never found. There we go. All right. I just noticed someone repositioned this shifter way up high. That's pretty weird. I'm gonna have to address that. I think I'll do that now. All right, I got that situated. I think I'm gonna order another shifter because too low seems too low, too high seems too high, especially a one step lower seems too low, one step higher seems too high. So I can't get it the same position that my wife's bike's in. It makes me wonder if this was bent a little bit. Remember I had to straighten this side of the radiator out, and the handlebars on this side have been replaced, but the grip on this side only, not the grip on that side. I'm thinking someone went down on this side pretty hard. I mean, they bent that radiator. I'm thinking they bent that shifter too. So I guess I'll be ordering one of them tomorrow morning, but let's keep going. So I got the shorty silencer on. I'm going to be using the quick twist throttle, and when you use a quick twist throttle, it takes less wrist twist to get the full throttle. But because of that, when you put them type of throttle assemblies on, it can make the throttle stiffer, because now you twist it less to get the full throttle, so it decreases the leverage that you have on the throttle springs. What I like to do, and I don't, how do you say, if you do this too, do it at your own risk. I like to clip the spring down just a little bit to get a really light pull out of the throttle. So I'm going to pull that spring out right now. I already know the length that I clip them down to on this bike, so I'm going to clip it down to it right now, so when I get to the handlebars, that part's already done. Might as well do it right now while I got the tank and seat off, because the carburetor is even a little more accessible. Alright, what I've done is I loosened the carburetor up so I can spin it towards me. That way I can get the throttle slide out. Ooh, I'm trying to rush and get all this done by Friday, because I want to ride her Friday, hopefully. I mean, on Saturday. But like most of you guys, I have a Monday through Friday job, so I have to do this after work. So that's what I'm doing. So I'm doing a little bit each day, and hopefully I'll have her ready to go Friday so I can load her up and ride her on Saturday. Alright, got this out. There we go, got the spring. Alright, let's take it to the bench. Alright, here we go. I pretty much cut one coil off. You see where the end of the spring is right there? I just cut exactly one coil off, and that does the trick. There it is. And I put that on the top side of the carburetor, and because I like this piece that's still, this part of the spring still closed off right here to hold this plastic piece that goes down into the throttle slide. So there she is. I'll pop her back in. What I have out, let me check what the needle clip is set at on this. But yeah, like I said, if you do that at your own, do this at your own risk. I don't need anyone, like, you know, sending me a message saying their throttle got stuck after doing this or whatever. Do it at your own risk. It doesn't take a whole lot of pressure out of it at the slide area, but it does make it feel like stock at the throttle after you use the quick twist, after you install the quick twist throttle. And that's all I'm looking for. It's just a stock type pull. Okay, she's in the middle position. I'm gonna leave her there. That's good. That's where I want her for now. If you didn't see what I did there, for you guys that, which I need to make a video on some carburetor tuning and stuff. This is the needle. That's the needle clip. You can see there's little grooves here. You can put in different settings to either raise or lower the needle, and that will either richen or lean. Mainly the part throttle, that's what the needle does, is like your part throttle, where your main jet does mainly your full throttle, and the pilot jet does like when you crack open the throttle. And then you got your air screw, and that mainly does your idle. Alright, let me go ahead and pop that on. Alright, I'll be putting a quick twist throttle on in a few minutes after I get the top end done and we do a test fire, make sure everything's good, and then we'll get up to the handlebars and get the handlebars on and the quick twist throttle and all that stuff. I'll probably end there for today, and tomorrow I probably start with the suspensions. I might do just the front and do the front tire, and the next day do the rear and do the rear tire. Alright, we got that. I still have to put that air filter in too. Alright, let's see what's going on here. Sometimes these needles don't just fall right into the... Let me try positioning the carburetor straight up down, see if that helps. Nope. Oh, there it goes. Alright. It's in there. Sweet. Put the screws back down. And then what I'm going to do is, well, I'll show you in a minute. You'll notice that you can adjust the cable. Also, not only can you adjust it at the throttle cable, but you can also adjust it on the top of the carburetor right here. What I like to do is I like to bottom it out down here at the carburetor and make all the adjustment up at the throttle, not at the carburetor. I just, make the carburetor as bottoming out as low as I can get it. And the reason I do that is because when I'm at the track, if I go to make needle clip adjustments or anything like that and I have to pop that off, then you got to find that exact adjustment again. But if it's already bottomed out, I just know all I got to do is just bottom it out, and it's going to be at the same adjustment I had it at when I pulled it off. So let me grab some wrenches and do that now. And then after I do that, I'm going to flip the carburetor back around. I'm going to roll it the other way and pop a one richer pilot jet in her. And the only reason I'm going to do that is, first off, I found that worked better with my wife's bike. One richer pilot kind of cured a little bit of bogging that it had right off the very, very bottom. But I'm going to start with that also because I'm going to be running about 25/1 on the oil ratio, which is, richer than a 32/1. These are jetted for 32/1. So I'm going to be running a little bit richer of an oil ratio. See how I bottomed it out, both these right here? So anyway, and so I'm going to start with that, and of course, if I have to make changes or adjustments at the track, I will. But I'd rather be a little bit on the rich side than a little bit on the lean side. I'm even going to put a richer main jet in there too for the first run. Stock comes with a 430. I think I'm going to start with the 450, just so I don't burn her up on the first ride, because this is a new bike to me, and on the first ride I might get, oh, you know what, I should have left that loose. And this is, yeah. Alright, because this is a new bike to me, so my first ride out there I might be really excited. And even if it's not absolutely perfect, let's say it's running a hair bit too lean, I might be having too much fun just to pull off the track and change the jets real quick. I just know how that is. I might be excited. So you see how I backed that all the way out where you can pull this cable up right here? I do that so now. And that's why I like to have that adjusted bottomed out all the time, because when I'm at the track and I have to change a main jet, I will loosen that so I can spin the carburetor all the way around like such. Hold on, let me adjust the camera here. So I can access the jets right here without even pulling the carburetor off. Now, it does make it easier if you pull this cover off right here, so let me go ahead and get that cover off. But anyway, that's why I like to have the throttle cable adjustment bottomed out up top, because at the track, if I have to change a pilot or a main jet, I'll just loosen that. I won't take the tank off or none of that. I will just loosen that throttle cable all the way out, loosen the clamps in the carburetor, rotate the carburetor like this, remove this chain guard right here, and change the jet. And then when I roll the carburetor back up, all I have to do is bottom out the cable all the way to the bottom again. I don't have to worry about finding that sweet spot, because the sweet spot adjustment is done up top at the throttle. And while I'm making adjustments, if I find I have to make adjustments to the jets at the track, or if I start playing with different adjustments, I'll just leave the sprocket cover off while I'm making them adjustments. It just makes it a little easier. I don't have to keep putting it back on and off, on and off. And then once I get it where I want it, then I'll stick it back on. All right, let me go ahead and pop that main out. Start with the main here. It comes, like I said, it should be a 430. Yeah, it is a 430. You probably can't see it on the camera here. Maybe you can, but anyway, it's a 430. Let me go ahead and get a 450. I'm gonna pop that in. If you're like me and it's hard to see anymore sometimes up close, what I do is I take my phone here, I turn on the camera on my phone, I zoom it in, and then I can put the jet in there. See, that's the 450. Now I can read it. So that's what I do when I gotta read a jet. These things are, look at this. It can be really hard to read that stuff. So let's pop her in. That's a 450. So I'm gonna start with that, especially because, like I said, I'm also gonna be running about an ounce more of oil per gallon. Where 32:1 is 4 ounces per gallon. I'm gonna be running 5 ounces per gallon, which is like 25.5 or 1 or something like that. So anytime you run more oil, you typically might have to jet it just a little bit richer to make up for the volume of that extra oil that's displacing the gasoline, blah blah blah. Now let me get the pilot jet out of here. Come on, let me get some I need on those. They give you just enough room to get that thing out. Just enough. Come on. Oh, there we go. We got her. We got her. All right. Now, before I just swap it, let me see what was in it. And this should be stock. Should be a 40. Yeah, that's a 40. I can read that barely, but I can read it. All right. And I got me a 40.2. Like I said, I'm going to start a little on the rich side for when I get out there. She doesn't run too lean. I'd rather be a little rich and a little too lean. Especially on a 125, because like, let's say this is a 252 stroke and you're running lean. I mean, they're pretty powerful, and so you only can stay full throttle for so long. But on 125, if you're a good rider, you can keep them pinned for quite a while, and you don't want to go lean and too long, run too hot. Let me get this thing in there. Alright, got that in there. Anyway, like I was saying, on a 125, I mean, as for me, I can hold it pinned pretty much almost all the way around the track. Unless I'm on the brakes going in a corner, she's pinned. And so you just don't want to be lean that long, that hard. And so I'm gonna start a little rich, just to be safe. Alright, let me go ahead and twist this carburetor back around. Line it up on the boot there. There she is. And let me go ahead and... Actually, let me turn it back towards me a little bit and get this down. Now, if I was at the track making an adjustment, I wouldn't have to worry about the throttle cable adjustment. All I have to do is just bottom it out, which is what I'm going to do right now. Whew. All right. Where'd that tool go? Where did that tool go? Here we go. I'm burning the midnight oil here. I just got back from Loretta Lynn's yesterday. Went up there to watch a motocross amateur nationals, and I was supposed to be a mechanic for about at least 2 riders that should have qualified, but for whatever reason they didn't this year. And we already had it planned, me and the wife, to go. So we still went, even though I wasn't wrenching for anyone. And I just enjoyed the races and the environment. It's an awesome place, by the way. even if you're not racing, it's really nice to visit. They got this creek, a river, whatever. It's really good to jump into. I don't know if you guys catch the Weed show, but he covered the Loretta Lynn's pretty well. While we're up there, I ran into, well, I seen Ryan Hughes. That was pretty cool. Ran into Adam Cicerillo. Of course, Weeds is everywhere is out there. All right, I got that all together. So now, what is next? I know, let me get that hour meter taken care of. I'm gonna go ahead and cut it off of here and mount it here for now. That way it's just not dangling around here. So let me take care of that. All right, mounted the hour meter right there. I'll be able to see it from the front of the bike when I need to check the hours. Now let me go ahead and change out this air filter, get the seat and tank back on her, and we're gonna fire her up first time. All right, first fire up. Let's see what happens, or should I say first fire up since the top end. Let's see what happens. Alright, she's a runner. Hold on, I'm going to check the air screw adjustment real quick. I'll be right back. Alright, I basically just copied the air screw setting out from my wife's bike since I know it's pretty close. But alright, let's fire it back up. I'm going to pause the video while I let her warm up a little bit so I can give her some full throttle, kind of, you know, just flip it pretty good full throttle, make sure the power valve's functioning well and everything. So let's just let her warm up. Alright, she's pretty much nice and warmed up now. I'm going to give her a couple full throttle flips just to make sure she's cleaned out and the power valve's functioning properly. That sounds good to me. Of course, I'll give her a couple good heat cycles before I take her to the track, obviously, and put her on the track and really put her under full load. But so she's a runner. All right, I guess let this shop air out. It's so smoky in here now. And then gonna start getting these handlebars on. All right, so got the motor done as far as the Wiseco piston in there. Got the shorty silencer on there. And some few other things. Gonna get to the handlebars, and I still have to put the frame guards on, the tires on, and do the suspension stuff, and the graphics. Can't forget the graphics. Man, I have a long week ahead of me, that's for certain. But I'm gonna burn the midnight oil every day after work till I get all this done. So hopefully I can be ripping on her on Saturday. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and get these handlebars completely off of here because we're gonna put on the new one. So, all right. Got the old bars off, working on getting the new bars on. The nice thing about these twin walls, and a lot of these bars anymore come with these markings right here, and they have this little tab right here on the bar clamp, lets you figure out center it left or right perfectly, and then get the pitch that you want. So all right, keep moving forward. All right, this is a part that a lot of people don't consider. Honestly, I really thought me and my brother were the only ones, like, pretty much in the world that considered this until I heard a factory mechanic talking about his rider. I forgot who it was. I wish I could remember. It wasn't one of the real top guys, somewhere like a top 5 or 8 guy, but his mechanic was talking about that his rider's real particular about the bars, that he has to trim the throttle side just a little bit to make the grips even. Otherwise, his rider will think the handlebars are bent. Now, let me show you what I mean, if you don't already get it. When you slide this grip on, you slide this grip all the way till the grip end right here butts against the handlebars, and that's all the way on. However, on the other side, you have a throttle tube. Actually, let me grab this throttle tube right here. And that takes up some space. So you have a throttle tube that you slide on here, and the end of the throttle tube actually, actually takes up some space right here. So the grip is on the end of the throttle tube. It's not on the end of the handlebar, and that will actually make this grip out a hair, just maybe a millimeter and a half, maybe 2 millimeters, but it does. So what you have to do is first you get your handlebars dead center right here for reference reasons. You get it dead center, and you bolt it down, get it where you want it. You put the grip in on that side, and what I like to do is after I get the grip on, you know, these grips can be flexed, can stretch. So what I do is I hold the other grip on it and make sure I have it on evenly. See? Because sometimes you can squinch these down short, and sometimes you can stretch them out when you're putting them on. And so I make sure I have it on there evenly, which might not look like on the camera, but yeah, it's even. All right. And once I know I have it on evenly, I go ahead and put the grip on the throttle on that side. I'll show you what I'm going to do here in a second. And we make some measurements, and then we trim off this little bit right here until we get it even. That way when you ride the bike and you're holding the handlebars, your left grip and your right grip are even. Your right grip's not sticking out further than the left. And let me tell you something, most people's bikes right now, their right grip is sticking out further than the left. Some people don't even notice it, some people do. I don't know if I notice it or not, but you know, I'm kind of even Steven, so I like to get these things real even. So another thing too is when putting grips on, I mean, if you don't already know this, it helps to put air underneath the grip as you're sliding on, shoot air, and it kind of puffs it up like a balloon. That allows you to slide it on. I already got this grip on, so I didn't have time to show you that, or didn't take time to show you that. But let me go ahead and get the grip on the throttle and slide the throttle on the other side, and we're going to take some measurements and see how much we have to cut off. Actually, here you go. I have to blow this grip on, so I'll show you. And this one can puff up like a balloon, so you want to hold it with your hand right here. If you put air in it, you lip it up, stick the air underneath here, hold it so it don't puff like a balloon. You just kind of slide it on. Ooh, she's being a little tough. I don't have the throttle cable on yet, so I could just do that. I don't even have the throttle cam in there yet. This is a little bit tougher than a OEM throttle tube because it's kind of gnarled pretty heavy, where OEM throttle tube is nice and smooth. So that's why you're seeing me kind of struggle with it a little bit, but that's normal with the aftermarket throttle. Alright, I got her on there. Make sure she's butted up fully. We're going to take some measurements. For good measure, let me hit it one more time. Let the air out. There we go. She's on there now. Alright, let's make some measurements. Okay, so what I'm going to do is measure where my hand rests on the inside of the edge of the throttle right here. I'm going to measure from here. I'm just going to put it gently and measure to the center of the left bolt that holds this the bar clamp here. That is 355 millimeters. Yes, guys, I'm keeping it metric. All right, and measure the other side. Isn't it funny? I already have a mark there. I already have a mark here. It matches up evenly with this. That's 300 and let's see. That's 345. It says. Yeah, it's a 5 millimeter difference. That can't be a 5 millimeter. Is it really a 5 millimeter difference? Let's try it again. Okay, no, yeah, there's a little bit of play in this. If I push it inward to play, which is what I'm going to do, because we have a tendency to kind of grip in, you know, the throttle too. I'm going to press it inward as I do it. It's 350, let's say 350 and a half, not quite 351. And this is 346. What I'm measuring, 346. Yeah, 346. So that's about a 5 millimeter difference. That's crazy. Yeah, about a 5 millimeter difference, maybe a little bit less. So basically, if I was just to bolt these on and not trim these bars, this grip right here would be about 5 millimeters outward, just because of the throttle tube and stuff. And we don't want that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this off, this whole throttle assembly off right here. I'm going to grind off just a little bit of this, put it back on, and measure it again. I'm going to keep doing that until I get this side even with that side, and then I'll be good. So I'll be back. Okay, I'm done with that. I use one of these little air grinders. Just to, you can use anything. You can use a hacksaw or whatever. But I got it down and even. So let me blow out the. Make sure you do that when you're done. All right, they're both even now when the grips are on and everything. So let me start assembling these this front end. All right, got the G2 quick twist throttle on. Cable on, still got to adjust the end play out of it and stuff, but yeah, getting there. All right, another area I go OCD on it is if you loosen these two clamps right here, if you loosen the 17 millimeter underneath them, you'll notice that you got a little bit of room to twist. So what I like to do is I like to sit on top of the bike and look down on the bars and get my head level with, let me shut this off. You see the air, where the clicker right here? I run my head to where it's just, I can just barely see that when I compare it to the other side. And if the handlebars, the whole handlebar is slightly this way or slightly that way, I loosen these up, I make adjustments until I get this dead even. Again, it's another OCD thing, but when I'm done, these bars, the grip is even, the right side is not further out, and the handlebars are perfectly straight with them triple clamps and forks. That's the way I set them up. Whew, it's been a long day. Night. But we're almost done, at least for today. I'm not going to safety wire these grips today. I'll do that tomorrow. I'm about to wrap it up. Got a wife in the house, and she's like, when you coming in? So I got to get moving along. But man, I'm just trying to get all this done because I really want it ready for Saturday. So keep hustling at it. Oh, by the way, I forgot to mention, underneath the throttle tube over here, I did spray a little bit of PJ1's Black Label. That stuff does great under a throttle. Unlike some of the greases are too heavy and they can kind of make the throttle feel a little bit sticky, but that doesn't do that. All right, I'm making adjustments now to the clutch. The clutch here. I like my clutch lever to be a tad bit inward. You have this adjustment on the Yamaha right here, so you can see I got a little bit of gap here. I adjusted that inward, so that's good. I also like this. I don't tighten these down so tight that the levers can't move. I want to be able to hit it hard with my hand. Watch this. See it go up a little bit, and watch it go down. See how it went down? I can't really do it like that, but if I hit it, hold on, you gotta hit it hard. Let's try here. There we go. If you hit it hard, you can get it to move. And the beauty of that, I always leave them just loose enough so where they can move if you can hit it. Not so much when you just grab with your hand and try to twist, but when you smack it good. Now that makes it where when you go down in a corner, instead of it breaking a lever, it'll just twist. I use OEM levers. I never break a lever. I mean, like hardly ever does it happen. As long as I keep these slightly loose, OEM levers are great. I mean, if I do, I don't break a lever. If I do, it'll be a slight bend, but at least I can finish the race, the ride, or whatever with just a quick adjustment. I just have to get up off, you know, usually when I pick the bike up off the ground, I just smack the, I do it the same thing here to the clutch. I tighten this up just loose enough where if I smack it real hard with my hand, I can get it to twist on the bars a little bit. And if I crash, I might find the lever down or up, and I just smack it back to where I need it and keep going. Check that out. And look how little twist it takes to get full throttle. Really nice throttle, and it's not overly stiff anymore. And that since I cut the spring, it won't be overly stiff. Because if you just install this and you don't cut the spring down a little, trim the spring just a little bit, one coil off like I did earlier, this throttle will be stiff. It'll be a short twist, but it'll be a stiff one. But now it's a short twist, but it's not stiff. It's nice and snappy. All right, another adjustment I made is I took the front brake lever here, and I like to adjust it as far inward as the Yamaha lever gets. That seems to be the perfect adjustment for me when I adjust it as far inward as it gets, and I'll show you why. This is a technique that has become real popular lately, although I've been doing it for years. It's dragging your front brake in a corner, especially if you got like a rutted corner, you're just trying to keep your front wheel in. You can drag the front brake just a little bit, and as you're rolling into the throttle, the front wheel will stay in the line. It won't jump out. But to be able to roll the throttle in and stay on the front brake, you can't have your front brake way out there. It has to be close in so you can throttle it and see, look, so you can throttle it and apply front brake at the same time. Now it sounds weird, but again, I've been watching some videos of these factory mechanics talk about how they set up their pro rider bikes, and that's actually a trend right now. They're catching on to that, I think. That to be able to use that throttle while also applying that front brake, you can't have your lever way out there. My bike's not complete without a Rasta bar pad. I love reggae music, so that's why I do that. All right, where are we at? Where are we at? Let's see. It's looking good. The bar's on. Yeah, got the handlebars adjusted the way I like it. Got the brake lever where I like it. Quick twist throttle. Got the clutch where I like it. All right, we're looking good. Obviously, I got graphics. That's going to be probably the last thing I do to it. I think I'm done for the night. I will finish the handlebar job tomorrow with the safety wire on the grips. I'm not going to do that tonight. Yeah, I'm kind of done at this point. And like I said, the wife's in the house, wondering where I'm at. But before I shut it down for the night, let's fire her up one more time. Gonna make some noise from there. It's 9 o'clock right now, so I'm gonna keep the shop door shut, and I'm just gonna have to deal with the smoke for a minute. Man, she's sounding so good. I can't wait to go out and rip on her. It's hard to believe I'd be this excited about a 125 at the age 46, but man, I sure am. Things are so fun. Whoa, what was that? Oh, it's a bug. All right, guys, I'm gonna wrap it up for tonight. This is day one of doing this job. Tomorrow, I definitely got to get to the suspension and tires. The graphics will be last. Still got frame guards to put on, and all kinds of other stuff. So stay tuned. There'll be another video coming up tomorrow. Appreciate you guys watching this. If you're not subscribed and you enjoy this kind of stuff, go ahead and click subscribe. I keep this kind of stuff coming. I know it's dorky. It's just a man in the shop working on his bikes, but you know, hey, it's YouTube, right? So enjoy. See ya.